Hello there. I wanted to talk to you about inspiration. And if you've experienced inspiration, which I think pretty much everybody has at one point or another, I would describe it as that feeling of something catching your attention and you naturally wanting to follow it. Your natural curiosity to learn more about it, to do it, whatever it is, you feel uplifted when it captures your attention. You feel uplifted when you think of it. You feel uplifted when you do it. You're in the flow when you follow the inspiration. So what I've learned personally is that as I age and practice following my inspiration as well as my intuition, because they kind of go hand in hand. But as I first started to understand inspiration and understand that it makes me feel better when I follow it, that I open up when I follow it, that life flows when I'm following my inspiration, what I've learned is that what's happening is inspiration for me, and you may experience it differently depending on where you're at with things, but inspiration for me started as like a layer, the first layer of expansion. And at this point in practicing following inspiration and intuition, what I've come to understand it as to this point, because I'm sure it's going to continue to grow and evolve and expand, but I now see it not as inspiration. That's not the word that comes to mind. I think of it as activation, a download, an upgrade. So the energy of it, I think, is what I'm describing here. The energy of those concepts to me now describe it more appropriately, the sensation of the expansion that's happening as I experience inspiration. I experience it now as an activation, an upgrade, or a download. And the information, the experience, the energy that unfolds as I follow those activations and as I integrate those downloads and activations, I feel my energy upgrading. I feel my consciousness upgrading. I think that captures it good. It's an upgrade in consciousness and awareness. And it expands my sense of my outer reality and the outer world and my outer perception. It expands it as it deepens my inner sense of sovereignty and connectedness to source. It deepens my sense of community with life, communion with life, with source, with God, with love, with the energy with universal love energy. Yeah. Okay. I think that's essentially what I wanted to capture there. So, moral of the story, practice following your inspiration and noticing how it helps you to become grounded in yourself, communing with life, and expanding your awareness. Okay, bye guys. See ya. Okay, one more thing. Some of the ways that I have, I'm always reading and, researching things and stuff like that. And the most recent current things that I am reading and researching and expanding into are the books that I'm reading right now. And I always, on my past videos, you'll hear me say that spirit talks to me through books, which is absolutely true. That's, okay, now I'm going to get woo on you here. This is actually going to go in more detail than I expected it to be, but I'm going to go woo. And I'm going to say that some of the very first books that I really heard Spirit talk to me, or that I felt inspired by and came to know as Spirit talking to me, which I now see as activations, and light codes. So if you have never heard of light codes, I'm not going to go into detail here, but I will, maybe as I talk, it'll help you to understand. So, okay, no, it's coming to me now. Okay, so light codes are energetic. It's energetic information. Light is information, and information in the light of information is conveyed in many different ways. You can receive light codes through seeing colors, through reading. You get light codes through looking at water glistening. There's basically everything can essentially be a light code. We've got light code, hand language, and speaking light code, and maybe by calling it, attaching the word light to it, I'm tripping myself up a little bit and explaining it. Codes. Let's just call it codes. Everything is coded. Everything mathematically, blah blah blah. Everything is coded, and you receive information from everything and the codes that are in it. And when it's something that is triggering an inspiration in you, that's what I consider it being a light code, because it's shining the light on an activation for you to open you up and expand your awareness. Okay, so not knowing what all that was back in the day, my nursing texts and books and nursing education, actually, I'll go back to geometry in school. I aced my geometry class. I had over 100% in the class, and I don't know why, but I got geometry, right? And it activated me. I was inspired to go home and read the book and learn step by step what these different objects were and how they related with each other, whatever. So another book that really other things that really activated me were my nursing texts, learning more, understanding how the physical body works, how the mental body works, and then I really got activated in learning about energy healing and the holistic, how everything is connected to everything else. And then I got really lit up, like codes, activations, and inspiration through reading the Bible. I've read that more than once. A lot of activations in the Bible, and then more spiritual texts. And so anyway, currently what I'm reading is the Sophia Codes by Kaya Ra, the Magdalene Manuscript by Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion, Bringers of the Dawn, by Dolores Cannon. And I think the next one I'm going to be getting into are the Hathor, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's another book by Tom Kenyon. Anyway, if you're familiar with these texts, you have an idea of what the information in them is about. If you're not familiar with them, then most likely the information that is in them would seem very woo-woo to you. And I use that word lovingly to describe the concepts that 10 years ago I would have been like, yeah, I think you need to go talk to somebody, like see a psychiatrist or something, right? Because they're not mainstream. They're not mainstream. And they are very spiritual and very universally connected and very much multidimensional. Multidimensional is another word that you might not be familiar with. Anyway, so the concepts in these books, and I haven't really gotten far into the Magdalene Manuscript yet, but with the Sophia Codes and Bringers of the Dawn, it's really expanding awareness around star families, multidimensional beings, understanding that Earth really is just a tiny little speck, and there is so much more out there energetically, consciously, that our human senses do not necessarily pick up on, because of the way that we are programmed from birth for various reasons. I don't know that, well, I think some of it kind of is malicious, but whatever. I don't want to get into conspiracy theories. But I think for the most part, our programming is meant to help us survive as humans, right? So we're programmed by society, we're programmed by our parents, most lovely with the highest intentions. We're programmed by schools, we're programmed by our churches and religious communities, all with the best intentions to keep us safe. And then but there's so much more out there. And when you start when you start connecting to your inspiration, it's going to lead you into activations, upgrades, like codes, that expand you into the being that you are here to experience being. And that may lead you to star families, it may lead you to ancestral healing, timeline healings. It's going to lead you wherever you're supposed to be led to, and it's going to expand you. Ultimately, it's going to deepen your understanding and your communion with life and your expansion of awareness. And when we are deepening our own connections to life, when we are communing with life and expanding our awareness, we are activating others and inspiring others to do the same. We're helping them to heal too. And I think that's really ultimately how we all come along together as humanity. Okay, take care, guys. Bye.